think we're early today. Anyway, welcome everyone. Let's play a little music and then we'll get into it a little bit later. Let's do it. Welcome everyone, this is me, Tom Values, here coming at you. Russian, I don't understand a word of it. Coming at you live on the 10th of the 10th of 2020. That's 10/10/2020. What a date. Anyway, it's that date where I am. It's another date where you are, but welcome everyone. And in 1992, Francis Fukuyama came up with his paper and book, The End of History. And this stated that it was just the actual final defeat of Western liberal democracy over other forms of government, which was to set the stage for an end of history, an end point of mankind's ideological evolution, and the universalization of the Western liberal democracy model as the final form of human government. Well, you know, the Soviet Union just dissolved in 1991, and we saw the wall come down, and people were very optimistic, and this was a signal. This was a signal of what was to come, and what we see now. We need to have an enemy. There is no enemy, and so they made an enemy. And thus you must be fearful, you must obey, you must comply, you must hate, you must virtue signal. Because what's most important is that you virtue signal, not that you do anything practical, but that you virtue signal. Don't think, feel. You feel it now because the thinking is over. We are at the end of history, so we can turn it off. And thus, what we see now is the weapon of manufactured destabilization will not happen as it did in the past with wars, with hot wars, but rather it will be of a strange type of attack upon emotions, upon feelings, and upon the felt experience of people rather than on any physical infrastructure. You know, the physical infrastructure now is so multi-layered. Okay, they can close down my YouTube channel, but another one will pop up, and another Twitch channel, and whatever it is. And so now on pirate radio, this is the way it's going to work. It's going to work in a distributed system. And so, and from one person to another person, it's just going to go around. Ideas spread, especially in the West. We're famous for that, I suppose. But in the past, it was merely needed to destroy one bridge to cause, havoc and chaos and stop transmission of goods and ideas from one place to another. But with 1,000 bridges, now it's necessary to create such fear in people that no one will be willing to cross any of those bridges. And what we see now is people hunkering down in their countries. They're returning to their countries and not leaving. And so this is what they've done. They've closed down all the bridges through fear. And you must obey, and you must comply, and you must hate, and you must virtue signal. Don't think, feel. And so now the work of manufactured destabilization is to virtually emulate the wholesale destruction that in the past was needed by bombing and attacking physical structures. But no, now it's inside. It's now inside. But we are experiencing the end of empire, at least one phase of this empire. The golden age of wireless has ended, and this golden age of wireless was a debut album by Thomas Dolby, released in 1982. And this album had as one of its songs, all of them seemingly predict what's going on today. But we have wind power, and the first line is switch off the mind and let the heart decide who you were meant to be. And here we have it. Here we have it in the streets of Portland, night after night, day after day, in Seattle and other cities. People are just switching off the mind and letting the heart decide. And the police, too. They've done it, too. Right? They target black people more than white people in doing it. But that's because the black people were forced into the underclass. First, they were the pilot project in the 1960s. Let's get the men out of the homes. Let's give these women more money than the men can make, and let's destroy it. And let's have the men go on the street and smoke some pot and then throw them in jail and create this underclass. And, bust, George Floyd for a gram of coke and put him in the clinker for 6 months and then let him come out and wreak his havoc. Here we have the manufactured destabilization. So nobody's thinking. Nobody's thinking anymore. They turned it off. There is no enemy, as the song continues. Flick to remote and let the body glide. So we're on automatic. We're on an automatic pilot, and it's taking us right over the cliff. Yeah, maybe Trump can turn it around a bit, but ultimately, the damage has been done. The damage has been done. We are not at the end of history. We are at the beginning of the next phase. They're moving the capital of the empire, and this is the end of this phase of the empire. And we'll see where it goes next. But as I've spoken many times, most people don't understand the empire. The empire is not the Abrahamic empire. It predates that. But everything you see in the room where you're at, anything of importance comes from this empire. It started at the eastern edge of Persia, through Mesopotamia, up from Egypt, through Anatolia, Europe, and the colonies. Everything you see comes from there. Electricity, computers, anything of great value. It was all invented here. And regardless of where it's produced, the idea came from here. The structures for the manufacture and distribution of all of these things comes from this empire. And this empire is currently attacking itself. It attacked itself in Afghanistan, which was an outlier of the Persian Empire. Half of it was inside. And then, it attacked Iraq, Mesopotamia, and, tried to destabilize Egypt and its outlier Libya. And then, it's attacking itself now. We see Europe attacking itself, falling apart, the Great Replacement, who knows what's going to happen. And we see the feminist attack. It's all combining to remove any type of stability from this empire. But in all of this, we have the stupidity, we have the utter insanity of the UK having basically no cases, assignable to COVID-19, and they're closing pubs for 4 months to try to keep people separate, to keep them afraid, to make them obey, to make them comply, to make them hate their neighbors, to make them want a virtue signal. Don't think, feel. Don't think about the numbers. Don't think about reality. Don't think that young people must die from birth to 5 years old. They must die at high rates because they have no immune system. None are dying. Don't think. Don't think. Just feel about the people who have died, and we say that the death is assigned. Don't question the authorities now. Don't question. Obey. Comply. Be fearful. Hate. Hate those who question. This is the world we're in now. This is a strange and oddly dysfunctional world. It's a dystopia, no question. But here on this channel, we hope to let people know that you're not alone in thinking that this is a dystopia. This is an absolute dystopia. And the only way to get through it, I think we're in an election campaign which is heightening this dystopia, attempting to win an election. And the American election is important. It's a vastly powerful core of the empire, and so where it goes is where the whole empire is going, according to those who want to control it. And there's a lot of interest in controlling it in one direction and not another. So anyway, this is where we're going. This is where we see it. And let me get back and see what's going on. Hey, there's people here. Welcome, everyone. That was my intro to this week's fear, obey, comply, hate, virtue signal, don't think, feel, which I put on a comment to a Tony Heller video talking about this. Hey, I got a thumbs down? Wow, Smurf, that's great. Yeah, no, that's good. I don't know who would do that. Maybe somebody I banned. Or you banned, or somebody banned. Hello, Beyond the Pale. How are you doing? Sentinel of Fortune? Yep. Yes, that's right. Yep. It showed them clear. Marxist feminism showed the nature of women as clear as anything. I did a study way back when on Andromache, a character in Homer's Iliad, and that explained it just as well. Andromache was the wife of Hector, who died. He was thrown off the. Hector was killed by Achilles, and his friend, I'll call him Neph, he threw Andromache's son off the walls of Troy, killing him, and then Andromache married Neph and bore him three sons. So this is it. This is hypergamy. This is gynocentrism. This is what women will do. There's the knife ready to go into the back. That's it. And they've done it to men in the West. They did it now. The ancient Greeks knew about it. Yeah, what a witch. That's it. Andromache, you want to look at it. If you can find my video, I think it's still up. But, no. And the guy's best friend killed her husband. He threw your son off the wall, killing him, like a 10-year-old boy or something like that, 12-year-old boy, threw him off the walls, killing him. And you went and married him, had 3 sons with him. Yep, that's it. She's not yours, she's just temporarily yours. Isn't that the saying? Yeah, that's it. Spoils of war, right? Women as spoils of war. That's it. And what's the point of the war now? Because we're at the end of empire. This is why even take them, right? This empire is not worth saving because what's it doing? The police, they stop you on the street, they take your money. This is civil forfeiture. They're doing eminent domain to take a church in Texas. What's this? What? Eminent domain, they just come in and take it. This is Soviet-style, government control. You wouldn't fight for them. And, the numbers are clear. Black guys get targeted more than white guys, but white guys in America get targeted vastly more and killed by police than almost any other country. So apparently there's 360 million interactions between police and people in the United States every year. If that doesn't sound like a police state, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Why are people doing this? This is nuts. Anyway, the empire is finished. The empire is changing the capital city. We're going to see it move. There may be some ability to resurge the capital, Washington. We're looking at an election. We're looking at a very disruptive and divisive election. And ultimately, what they're trying to hide is exactly what they've accused their enemies of doing. Yes, Sentinel of Fortune. And that's what Francis Fukuyama said in some way. That because the wall came down, there was no enemy. There was the pretension of ultimate victory. And this led to the need to create an enemy. You're not afraid if there's no enemy, so they had to make the enemy. Yeah, but Johnny, it could have popped up after you came in because it knew you were already in here. I don't know. But anyway, welcome Johnny, welcome Aaron, welcome everyone to Pirate Radio at its best. Yes, indeed. And what we're seeing is at the same time that that the investigations on who got money from whom and who signed what pieces of paper to send to the FISA court and who saying I'm not responsible for the horrible nature of this application. And the FISA court judges themselves aren't doing the honorable thing, right? See, this is the morality of the ancestors gone. Those judges on the FISA court, they should resign en masse and just say, that's the end of this court. It has too much power. It has been abused grossly and totally without any redeemable ability to function. And that those judges don't en masse resign shows that they have no inner strength. They have no inner fortitude. I mean, they're despicable human beings to sit on that court after what's been done to them. Patsies. They are paid off, probably drugged up patsies. And if one of them has the decency to come on this channel, I'll rip some shreds off of you. What's your fucking problem? You get lied to, you stupid bitches, you stupid bastards. They lie, and you don't know. And it's all in secret. This is the antithesis of what the United States of America, via the Constitution for the United States of America, should and is to be. Yes, I agree, Sentinel of Fortune. That's a great quote here. You know, that's the decency. If you feel that something needs to be done in secret to protect the country of the United States of America, then you do it and you face the repercussions. But you don't systemize it. You don't systemize corruption in order to defeat corruption. No, this is stupidity. And now we've seen it. It's been public. You know, it's not only this court, it's every court, really. We're looking at this Sullivan case with Flynn, and here I stand on the side of Sullivan. Sullivan saying either we got Trump interfering and making the DOJ pull back, or Flynn is right and somebody threatened his son. And the judge has a right to know, I believe. Any judge has a right to know whether somebody threatened this person to make a guilty plea when they think they're not guilty. And the DOJ won't put up the fall guy. They won't admit to threatening. And if they do threaten, then they have to all resign. You see? The corruption and the violence by proxy, and MGTOW men know this more than anything. You get in a family court you get into a family court, and you see the violence by proxy of women. You see now that Andromache is not only willing and ready to marry the guy who killed your son, whose best friend killed your husband in war. You're not only willing to marry him, you're willing to just normalize this type of vicious, hypergamous action and just eviscerate the man so that he's a walking shell of who he could be, of who he should be. And this is the future, is that men will recognize in themselves that they can be more. Oh, they'll be different, of course. You can't be the same, but you can be more. And you won't be in jail, and you won't be on the street, and you won't be injecting fentanyl until you die. You won't be doing that. And that's what they're driving men to do. This is a disposability of men. This is sacrificial lambs. turning men into sacrificial lambs on the altar of women's, insatiable gynocentric drives. And all of this is happening because we have lost the ability to think, and we've been told to feel, because we're at the end of history. We're all is well, and there is no enemy. But we can't live like that, because somebody will take advantage. We have those dark triad people. They need to keep you in fear. And so you just say, okay, they're trying to fear me up, and they're trying to junk everyone up with fear, but they're trying to silence people by withholding their pensions and ripping them off. If you don't hold it, you don't have it. That's the way it works. If you don't hold it, you don't have it. And even sometimes if you hold it, the police will come and take it from you. They say, oh, that's as a result of crime. Just we're going to take it. And if you want it back, you got to ask. And so, there was a warning from the Canadian Travel Advisory website, Canadian government website, about $6 billion or something taken from Canadians traveling down into America for the winter holidays by cops all along the way. It's like highway robbers, all the way from Ontario down to Texas or something like that. Jesus Christ. It's like a country of highwaymen, except the highwaymen are police. They see them on the interstates and they just tag them. Crime, crime, crime. $6 billion they fleeced. This isn't any friendly neighbor to the south for any Canadians listening. What the fuck are you doing? And you're doing it to yourselves. It's not just Canadians. My God, you're doing it to yourselves. The value of the civil forfeiture versus the value of burglaries, you look at that graph, the American police are fleecing Americans. Yes, civil asset for forfeiture. And then we have eminent domain, which is a related seizure. And I just read about one horrible one. I just saw the headline. Is in Texas, someone's trying to seize a church and turn it into a shopping mall or something. I didn't read what they were turning it into. But, this is Soviet Union type stuff. Somebody, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the government says, no, we're going to take your assets. And that's it, because somebody else has a better use for it. What? No. There is some, there was some, that if you needed to put a highway through, okay, you would require people to give up their home, and you would pay them enough money to buy a new home and to move. And maybe a little something for the trouble. Yeah. Eminent domain abuse. And who's going to support a government that allows that? Who's going to fight for that? So, 13 men plotted to erase the Michigan governor. It was half-baked. I don't know how they found out, but what I read, it was half-baked. There was a bunch of guys just saying, the Michigan governor is becoming a tyrant. I believe the Supreme Court of Michigan overturned some decisions, and she said she was going to go through anyway. So what we have is a failure of the division of powers, separation of powers in the United States, where governors have to at least listen to the Supreme Court. And so, we've got a breakdown in the separation of powers in Michigan, and thus we see people attempting to be Paul Revere's of the 21st century. And America has a problem in this. It has to support Paul Revere's. It has to support Sic Semper Tyrannis. And there's no question that Abraham Lincoln's suspension of habeas corpus was unconstitutional, and that he got people to seize people on the street and put them in the prison and don't tell anyone for the course of the war, that was completely against American values. And he got what came to him. And ultimately, he didn't free the blacks. He didn't slave everyone. You read what it says, and that's it. Yes, that's right. There was that Connecticut case, yeah. And oddly enough, I got relatives in New London. Before they went to Canada, they landed there, and there's a whole bunch of them. I wonder if it was my relatives they doinked. Doinked. You know, is that a word? Doinked? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, Baron Exile. Got billed for rent on their own homes by the city. Oh, god damn my. What's happened? You see, this is it. Let's get to the main screen. Sorry about that. Let's get going here. Okay, sorry about that. Got lost and everything. Yeah, civil asset forfeiture, eminent domain. The brutalization by the militarized police on whites and blacks and Hispanics and everyone. And, who can support this? So when BLM, Antifa go wild, you're saying, well, I don't support them. I don't support the police. And in Canada, people are up in arms about something, but not so much, Canada's pretty quiet. There's, 35 million people or so in Canada. And it's a big place. So nobody's really upset. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't mowing the lawn if I'm paying rent on land I don't own. And I did own. My God. Yeah, I don't know. In the Middle East, obviously, they're in throes of great change with the oil money in so many countries. But, they've got their own cultural features. And they've got a history that they share with us. This is part of the larger empire. And you look at, the golden age of Islam, which was really not Islamic, but it was the sciences coming out of Persia and Mesopotamia and Spain at the time was massively important to what we have today. Computers, electricity, some of this ideas and some of this thinking came back to that point around the 1200s, 1100s. And then the Mongols poured through, the Chinese, the Mongols and the Chinese poured through and destroyed all of that. The capital, I believe, had been in Samarkand. And you look at all the people around there at the early 1200s and late 1100s. These people were vastly investigating the nature of reality, and they were shut down. Today, we're investigating the nature of reality, and it's being shut down. Science is being abandoned. Modern science is being abandoned. We're not supposed to think, we're supposed to feel. And if you're feeling the right thing, then you're outraged, you're hated, you're hating, you're fear-baited, you're rage-baited. You're falling into the clickbait mentality. Give me my 5 seconds of hate, once a minute. Yeah. Hey, don't worry about that, Baron Exile. I am not monetized. I've never been monetized. I'm never planning on being monetized. Yeah. Yeah. And, I'm fortunate to have, no need to be monetized, so I'm not going to do it. And so, woohoo, we're okay. And, I'm keeping my CV dusted off, and it goes out all the time. I recommend everyone do it. And we've had a couple of men come in, talk about difficult situations. And now more than ever, it's good to, keep an iron in many fires, right? A different iron here, a different iron there. You never know when it's going to come. The hammer's going to come down in real life, and you don't want to be adrift. It's good to have like a full-time job and then a part-time job that's only, a little bit here, a little bit there, something you enjoy. Something that if you got booted out of your full-time job, you're stable enough, and then you can leverage that. Yeah. No, I'm not giving my time for free. I'm gaining in this. There's no way. You men are dropping in, which is great. It's good for me. And, there's value going in both directions, Aaron. And I can't underestimate the amount of value that I've gotten from MGTOW, and from knowing that other men are, some have taken precautions as I did and were not eviscerated, and a lot have been eviscerated in smaller or greater ways. And to them, I extract strength, because I know, for God's sakes, if I had stayed where you men are, I'd be dead or in prison. I know that. So I got out and I'm alive. So this is all borrowed time, right? This is all borrowed time for me. So, yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Bear in Exile. The likes are great, and the dislikes, I don't know. Maybe they're banned. They can't come on and tell us why they're disliking this. But this is, we're looking at thinking. We're looking at opening up avenues of analysis, whether right or whether wrong. We'll go down. We'll see what's there. Look around. If it pays off, we keep on going. And what we see paying off is this manufactured destabilization. They're doing it in a new way. They're just wiring people up. All the Karens, right? And we got the word for them, right? We got the NPCs. We got the Karens. These people are just on automatic. The mass media winds them up, and we see them running around, but they're causing trouble. So we just gotta stay away from them. You gotta MGTOW Ghost level 4. Go out and have some fun. Smell the roses. Do whatever. Enjoy life. Do it safe. Do it fun. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No, and it's not just a few Sentinel of Fortune. I believe it's a majority. It's just they're screamed down. The majority of people, I think, are still sane. And, even some of the insane people are saying, I'm insane. I shouldn't really be, talking too much. But, I think there's a lot of us. And it's just we're in these little networks. They're closing down the big ones, right? They close down the big ones, but not all. And we're just back and forth, in these distributed networks. A lot of men out here, different perspectives, and all perspectives have to be evaluated. And yeah, I mentioned on that issue, Bear, I mentioned something about Mr. Elite having really gone too far, and Emily showed up and made a comment which I immediately removed. It wasn't a bad comment. She's trying to bait, right? She's trying to bait, and I don't need that. I don't mind a little fun. I'm into a little fun. I've been at it with a lot of people, and what stands clear is that MGTOW men, will not be shamed. They will not be, insulted. It is like nothing. It is as nothing to shame or insult MGTOW. So I'm into it. With anyone who wants to do that. And, I'm a keyboard warrior at times, depending upon my schedule. Yeah. Yeah, no, that moved pretty fast, didn't it, Aaron? Yeah. In fact, I'm thinking more and more these red pill ideas, some of which come from MGTOW, are out there. I think that Chad and I don't know where these things are coming from. Chad and Tyrone, this is out there. Hypergamy is getting into mainstream, and and in terms of hypergamy, in my first research, which I still hold to be true, is that there's two types of hypergamy. There's natural hypergamy, which is okay. You look for the best potential mate, right? Women do, men do, and so you're looking around, and you can just be women used to entertain men in their homes with chaperones and they'd interview and get together and then choose the best one. Okay, no problem with that. But the problem is rampant and unfettered hypergamy, which is you go to the family court, you marry, divorce, alimony, and then you use that money to leverage up, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So Chad was invented in Chicago. Wow. Chad and Trixie. Oh, wow. Yeah. Nice. Well, it's now way back in the 80s. Yeah, see? They were doing it then. But, we know now that the Chads are getting it, right? The Chads are getting it. And there's no safety for Chads. And, they might be able to hook up, but because they hook up, they just put themselves in danger. How many incels are going and being accused of, paternity fraud or, false rape? Well, very few, but how many Chads are? A lot. And, the PUAs know this. Their channels are going down. And then if somebody sees an opportunity and some new PUA dating coach shows up and realizes they've stepped into they stepped onto the battlefield and they're advising men to do the most dangerous things imaginable with no value. So, Sentinel of Fortune. I don't even know how to say that word. Ovulatory shift hypothesis. I don't know what that is. Ovulatory shift hypothesis. Wow. Let me see if I can look this up. Oh yeah, here we go. Now this is great. Yeah, no, this is great. I can get here. Yeah. That women experience evolutionary adaptive changes in subconscious thoughts and behaviors related to mating across the ovulatory cycle. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I don't know. I don't know how to. It's a great sentence. I think there's something there, definitely. Older women who've been through the whole, marriage, kids, and seeing their kids try to get married, those women seem to be smarter. Like they're probably 60 years old, 65 or something like that, 50 to 75, somewhere in there. A lot of those women seem to be, smart because they're experienced in the world and they know what they are. They've somehow lived through it. And even if they've defected on their marriage or boyfriend and they're not on psychiatric pills, they realize what they were. And those who've made it through successfully, they realize what the young women are. And, and they may actually tell men. They used to protect men, right? Mothers used to protect sons from women. Now they don't. They feed them to the lions. So don't expect, especially if they're single mothers. My God, horrible. So, yeah. Hey, MM, welcome. It's ridiculously early. Yeah, get back to sleep. Sleep is good. But, yeah, no, I see that Sentinel of Fortune. Yep. I see, Rollo Tomasi would be on that. No, I see a lot there. And, as, MGTOW analysis was that women, just before, during, and after childbirth, they become evolutionarily programmed for gynocentrism, like massive, total gynocentrism. They need to suck in resources during this time. So if they're not evolutionarily programmed biologically from birth until death to suck in resources, then they will be vulnerable and die during this period. So they have to be gynocentric. And so this is natural gynocentrism. But now, because they're like this biologically due to evolutionary forces, they're like it all the time, and they don't know why. And this is consumerism. And, in a gynocentric civilization, which we're in, this consumerism just becomes a sickness, an illness. And it's not that you buy something that you need for some purpose, is that you buy it for the feeling. You don't think about your purchase. You feel the thrill of buying something. There's a little endorphin rush, a little hit. And you suck it in, and women just go for it because they are gynocentric. Because evolutionarily, if they weren't, we'd be dead. And so this is part of the problem. Men realize that women are gynocentric, and if you were in control of the money, you can control it. But if the government says, no, you're not in control of the money, you got to give it to her, or it's abuse, then all of a sudden you're no longer a husband. And husband is a deeper word than just, the opposite of wife, as it were. There's a verb. To husband resources means to gather and collect, and husbandry, animal husbandry, means to grow the herd. So you have this inside of you. Men have this, to grow resources and to protect it and to expand it wherever possible. You go down, then you go up, and if you can ride the wave, that's better. But this is what it means to husband. And if this is taken away from men, then really, that horrible situation in Canada where the crazy wife thought that the kid, made the kid think that they were the opposite gender. The judge told the man that he's got to pay for the kid to have this chemical castration. And, this is absolute horror. Yep. In normal times, women are resources. Well, yes, it is. And men are sacrificial in order to build the community, and women are resources to have kids. But and that's the way it was. That was the thinking way of being. That was the sustainability of the community. So, but that's gone. We're no longer thinking, we're feeling. And if you feel like you need blue hair, you go out and get blue hair. You feel like you need this or that, you go out and do it. And you don't think about what it is. So, yeah. Geez, Bear, I don't understand that. Johnny does, but I don't. My, oh my. I don't know if I want to understand it. Yeah, no, that's right, Sentinel. I'm seeing that. Yep. Yep. The mood swings and, the program biology of both, hypergamy and brief false laws. There you go. This is evolutionary development tied in with biological urges. And men have the same thing, but in different ways, right? Men also have biology and evolution, wrapped up together. And we do certain things for certain reasons. And we don't know it until, we get to MGTOW and say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I going out onto this battlefield? Why am I doing it? There's other things you can do, so do it. You don't have to follow in this track. So that's it. Yes, and the birth control is a hormone. So once you start messing around with hormones, either for men or women, things get funny. Things do get funny. It changes the way you think in ways that are hard to predict. But hormonal basis of thought. I think there's something there. I also think that both cosmic rays and magnetic fields have been shown to affect the way that we think. And so if we're at a solar minimum, which we're at, we're just coming out of it, apparently. And, this is going to change the way we think. And I think we're into that right now. We're getting a lot of people who are crazy and a lot of people having great and smart thoughts. So, oh, yeah. However, I'm not sure. I think the whole idea of male birth control, now that I think of it, is gynocentric. Who cares? Who cares about what happens with the wee? Are you thinking about having sex with women? Why? Why are you doing that? If you're on birth control, why do it? You know, okay, maybe I'm not saying that you don't, but why go on birth control if you can just fly to Vegas or fly out of the country? Have some fun, go back, enjoy life, free of pandering to your biology. Yeah, yeah, yeah. MGTOW should be a source of control. I'm not even going to say birth control. It should be a source of control. And so you understand your biology, you understand what it's doing, why evolution is using biology to push men to do certain things, and then you say, I'm gonna override that command, and okay, maybe I got to rub it out, maybe I got to do this or do that. Pornhub's always available. Yeah, God save the Queen. She ain't a human being. Crush the fascist regime. I like that. Wasn't there a song? But somebody was talking about reptilians just briefly. I think it was Timcast. And I'm not into the Timcast thing. Yeah, straight edge. That's it, Go straight edge. Straight edge. Cleanse the system. And in fact, on my front page, I rebel through self-control. That's straight edge. It's not to say that you don't enjoy the feelings and you don't go with the feelings some of the time. Why not? Go with the flow once in a while if it's not going to hurt anyone. There's no reason to fight everything all the time. You just think it through for a second and say, yeah, I'll go with it. And enjoy music, enjoy nature, enjoy all these artistic experiences. You don't have to think your way through it. Yeah, don't go down that road, Aaron. Don't go down that road. Yeah, that's the line, isn't it, Johnny? That's the line. At least I can think. And once you realize that you're being driven to these things, nicotine's nice, alcohol's nice, the release of the endorphins is nice, but if that's your path, if that's your avenue, MGTOW know this. It's an avenue of destruction. Smoking, I'm not sure about smoking, how dangerous it is, but I know alcohol. If you drink too much for about 25 years, then you're affecting a part of your brain. Now, you can drink a lot occasionally, and you can drink consistently, but not a lot, and that's okay too. But if you drink too much for 20, 25 years, you start to eat away part of your brain. And we know that if you are a Chad and you find that the meaning of the universe can be found in a woman's vagina, then you're going to lose. You're going to lose. Because that's that's a waste of time. And then you wake up one day and you say, what in the fuck is the world like? Yeah, not becoming prey. It's not that you're the predator. No, if you have to be a predator, be a predator. But no, the predators are the dark triad. And yeah, sure, there might be some in MGTOW. There's dark triad everywhere. I think there's 4% psychopaths, and a couple of percent Machiavellian and narcissist. It's hard to separate sometimes with these people. But yeah, these are predators, and you got to watch out for them. Some of them come into MGTOW. I don't know who they are, and I might be one of them. Well, you never know. I'm pretty sure I'm not, but you can only trust people as far as you can throw them. That's it. And not becoming prey. I like that. I'll remember that one, Aaron. Remember, I think we can use that for 2021. I don't know how. Anyway, 2021's coming up in not too long a time, and we've had a most interesting year. It's not quite over, and yeah. And hopefully, I think 2020 is the opposite of a euphoria. What is it, dysphoria? I think it's a dysphoria. And hopefully, once we finish 2020, we'll move from the dysphoria, followed by the elevation again. Or what's the opposite of crash? Yeah. So, yeah, there is a crash. However, if you do it just right, the crash is you sleep it out. You wake up the next day feeling sort of fresh. You can wake up feeling sort of fresh. But I recently had an interaction with a friend who I couldn't believe it. He went out on a boat and was drinking beer all day. He said he drank 20 beer that day, and it got down into him. He's pretty good with burying stress. He buried his stress very deep, but some of it came out. It wasn't bad. Everyone's got to unwind. It just took him 20 beer to do it. That was great. Yeah, Aaron, I agree. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're almost through 2020. Once it's I'm becoming more and more convinced that while not the cause of this whole thing, somebody spun this thinking more destabilization will be bad for Trump. Let's just play it up, pull out all the stops, send money to anyone in any other country, just make this thing fly globally, let it come back to the United States and cause destabilization, distract and deflect from the law courts, taking down all these Democrat deep state operatives. And we don't want anything there. We don't want to see, news headlines about Hunter Biden, $3.5 million apparently from this rich woman, ex-wife of an ex-mayor of Moscow. And, all of this stuff that's coming out. So, they just wanted distraction because the deep state doesn't want to be revealed. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm only MGTOW, right, girl? Yeah, my God. The right gynocentric, hypergamous, backstabbing woman. You go, girl. Yeah. Good catch, Smurf. Yeah. 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 But I'm thinking now, women and men sort of, you got the courtly love and the chivalry, but you meet this right girl and she touches your feelings. So this is the biologic evolutionary thing in men, which is a drive to protect, a drive to want to go out and be, Prince Charming, whatever it is. So this is the drive to go out, and so the right girl is the girl who will respond to your protective urges, your desire to, do that thing that men have to do and provide resources during the pregnant, birth, and afterbirth phase, not knowing that women are like this for their whole fucking lives, and will drive you into the ground, and if you don't go into the ground, they'll divorce you, driving you into the ground, and then hypergamate up. So, oh yeah, Smurf, that's it. Yeah, that's what you want. There you go. Yeah, and as I say, I'm in a place where they're like that, but they got no power. They got no power other than the normal power they had, 150, 200 years ago, which is something. I'm not denying anyone's right to be who they are. They have a right to be who they are, and I have a right to be who I am. So, we all can become barbarians. It will be fun. Yeah, I can see that. The barbarians are in the gates. They've allowed in the barbarians and these people from outside of the culture, or loosely affiliated, but outside the culture, outside the civilization, are coming in, saying the civilization, for all its warts, is not great. And, ultimately there's problems. You get something this great, the deep state, the military-industrial complex is going to become massively powerful. There's lots of forces that cannot be stopped. As I say, the destabilization now cannot happen in the infrastructure because the infrastructure is too developed. And what will happen is the feelings, the thinking's done, the building's done, the creation's done, strong enough that it's impossible to, destroy easily. And so the destruction is going to happen in the feelings. And so you must generate fear. You must create in people the need that they want to obey, that they will comply, that they will hate who they're supposed to hate, and be hated by those who should be. I don't know even how to say that. Hate and be hated, right? You want to hate the MGTOW and love the feminists. And the MGTOW must love to be hated and must hate to be loved. Not really. Any man who looks at MGTOW, and in fact, we've had a lot of women come up and say, looking at the way reality is, yeah, you'd be insane not to be MGTOW. And so for those men out there dropping in, and anytime you see it, you got to be insane to go out onto that battlefield. Now, you can get what you want. I still say that. You can get whatever you want for young men, even for older men. But you just got to be smart about it. You got to be smart. And, there's times for enjoying life and going this way or that. And there's times to back off and be smart. But at all times, you got to take the protections you need. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know, Baron. Yeah. We were seeing that at the end of Empire, where I believe the capital is they want it to be moved. There's too much happening. I think we're going to have. A gilded cage. I've often referred to it as that. When I first came to this country, I said, okay, these people are poor, but they're free. And, they're pretty free now, a little bit less free, but they're still pretty free here. There's not a lot of luxury. And, but yeah. This is, I think, the more money there is, the less freedom there is, ultimately, because, this is a gynocentric system. Men need to buy stuff to build, to fix, to create. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Groucho Marx, the master of the one-liners. Yeah. Yes, well, that's right. If you're living in a gilded cage, yeah, that's right. That's what it is. Well, and you see it because the men now have become feminized. They don't know what they are. I think I pointed out last week. Maybe I should get some more pictures, or maybe not, of what was it? The Gucci fashion show where they dressed men up to be these sickly, weak-looking men, and they're gelded. So the Gucci gelded men show, and I wonder what they think when the people refer to people walk around like that as gelded men, oxen, right? This is oxen. And so I've often said, I've used the word yoke. I've got oxen in some of my videos. You just gotta you gotta take off the yoke. You gotta grow your balls back. I went through the desert on a horse with no balls. Yeah. And it takes the life out of people, and that's what it's done. So we've seen the life being sucked out of civilization. And we see men acting as women and women acting as men. I'm not sure if I follow that quite, MM. Men going there, men gelded. MGTOW are not gelded. I'm hoping that MGTOW are the not gelded men, not taking out women. Yeah. Yeah. So, gelded men in a gilded cage. Oh, there's the line right there. Gelded men in a gilded cage. There's the line right there. No worries, man. But it just makes you think. Makes you think. And I got this line: "Gilded men in a gilded cage," and this is I think what MGTOW's against is stopping the gelding, and men do it to themselves, right? It's incremental, and this is the problem. Bit by bit, the system comes in and says, "We're going to take more of your rights, and then the cop stops you and just says, "Give me the money in your pocket because I think you got it from crime," and you have to give it to them. And these are gilded men. And the gilded cage is, okay, you can go out and make more money. United Geldom. Yeah, my God. Yeah. Yeah, no, there's a movement now, Baron Exile, of working from home and having the right to work from home. And you know, of course, certain jobs you have to be there and you have to come in person. But other jobs, no, you don't. And a lot of jobs now, you don't have to go in. I've had a job where I don't have to go in, and so I've been working from home for 5 years. I have to go in for a bit, but then I'm moved out, so 80% plus of my job I don't have to go in for the last 5 years, 6 years, 7. So it's been pretty good. And yeah. No, there was that riot in another place beginning with the letter W over some guy, Aaron somebody, got shot by police in February. So I looked it up, and yeah, the Attorney General said there won't be any charges, and then there was rioting. And you look into the case, and it's, there's no camera footage showing, and then the police say he had a gun. And then the family say, well, we got witnesses that says he didn't have a gun. And he said, I have no gun. And then they shot him 5 times. Yeah. Yeah, Wausau. Is that the place where the rioting was? I knew it was, or I thought it was in some place like that. All those W words come from out there. Wisconsin, Winnebago, Waukee. So, but not Wyoming. Wausau is really nice. Yeah, it may be. In fact, what I'm looking at, and I realize this, is that the news is sensorial, and that most of the United States is fine and great, and calm and ready, ready for the future and doing better. A lot of people are doing better now than they were under Obama. And it was, maybe it was Wauwatosa, something like that. It was longer. I don't want to look it up now, but yeah, there were riots. And it was a 17-year-old young man, and he ran away from police or something, but he wasn't under arrest, so and he wasn't being detained, because you can't detain someone who's running away from you. You can only say you're under arrest and then do something about it. But you can't arrest someone merely for running away from you, as far as I know. Although do not take that as legal opinion. In fact, nobody will give you a legal opinion. If the police come up to you and you run away immediately, and they don't say you're under arrest, and they have to have a reason to place you under arrest, and running away is not a reason to place you under arrest. So, yeah. Yeah, no, the industrial welfare features of society. That's a great way to put it. And the government is the new husband, right there. And so incels, get this, that one of the great attractive features of men used to be the ability to generate welfare, the ability to work hard in the fields, the ability to work hard in the forest, the ability to work hard in the oceans and in the mines. These were an attractive feature of a man, a solid man, a get up in the morning and get it done man. And most men are like this. And but now the government's the husband. So unless you can make more money than the government can give the woman, she's gonna hypergamate up. So this was the problem in the 60s. The black men came up from the south. They were agricultural workers living in the city. They couldn't make much money. the do-gooders, the social engineers, and the North said, oh, we can't have all these ghetto people. Let's give them more money than the men can make and force the men out of the house. And they did. And then the men went to smoking dope on the streets. Then they went into prison, and then that cycle happened. And that was the pilot project. And now we have the underclass, who were predominantly black by percentage, and 2 million of them, went into jail, further destroying their ability to have a decent, normal life. So, no, I'm not talking about Rittenhouse, Johnny. There's another guy. There was Alvin Cole. Yeah, Wauwatosa. Yeah, the guy's name is Alvin Cole. And, yeah, it was Wauwatosa. And it was, we didn't get to the truth of the matter. We never got to the truth of what happened to Alvin Cole, because the police just sucked in all the information. They said one thing that they didn't offer proof for. So, just shoot the blackie, move on. Shoot the blackie, move on. That's it. They showed a video that it doesn't look like anything. You can't see anything, and anyway, more of the same in America. You see BLM protesting, and rightly so. Put it in front of a judge. Let's see the. We know that the police lie. There's no question in anyone's mind. After what happened with Rodney King, we know that they lied. The video didn't come out. The 4 police officers wrote the report, said nothing of the incident. The video came out. Then they were told, oh, go back and edit the report. You can't do that. No, the report is as is, and it completely was contradicted by a video that everyone agreed was true. So those police lied. Back then, they were not punished. Nobody lost their job for lying. So if it happens that the police lie in Wauwatosa, nobody knows. No one's going to get punished. There's no accountability. There's no responsibility. So this is the demoralization. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. You got a bunch of people who want to believe the police. You got a bunch of people that don't, that remember Rodney King and all the other cases. The manufacturing of evidence by police and by people who want to, help the police, and so on and so on and so on. So, wow. Yeah, but Bear in Exile, I don't know. maybe you are a bear. But I can do 32 Fahrenheit in a t-shirt, shorts in February. But in October, yeah. What the hell's a scony? Scony? I don't even know how to say that word. Scony? Wauwatosa. What the fuck's wrong with that? Gone yet. Yeah, it looks OBS reconnection successful. OBS just disconnected. I think I'm back. Okay.